and welcome to the Flourishing Introvert Talks with me, Jo Rawbone. This is the podcast that celebrates the natural gifts of introverts so that we can flourish in all situations. Episode 196, How the Natural Cycle of Life Can Guide Introverts. If we tune into nature, following the harvest and all the associated processes, the transition into November can be seen as a time of symbolic renewal. Just as in nature, when deciduous trees shed their leaves, this is the time of year for letting go, and for very good reason. So in this episode, as we begin our series focusing on letting go, I'll be looking at how nature can guide us gently but firmly to do what is best for us. Trees shed their leaves for various reasons, and as I'm exploring these reasons, let's see how they apply to us as introverts. Let's start with energy conservation. During the winter months, the days are shorter and the amount of sunlight available for photosynthesis is reduced. Photosynthesis is the process by which the leaves on trees convert sunlight into energy. By shedding their leaves, trees conserve energy because maintaining leaves that cannot photosynthesize effectively would be wasteful. Now, how does that apply to us? We know that social, emotional and mental energy is a precious resource for we introverts. So if we hang on to things that require our investment of energy but that give us no return on that investment, we too are choosing to be wasteful. And I don't know about you, but with my busy life, I need to conserve energy in as many ways as possible. Next for the trees, there's protection from cold, snow and wind. Here in the UK, many of us remember the trail of devastation caused by the great storms of 1987. That was a time when majestic, mature trees in full leaf were uprooted. It certainly was a sorry sight. The verdict was that the devastation was so great because the trees were in full leaf. Leaves are also vulnerable to damage from freezing temperatures and heavy snowfall. So by shedding their leaves, trees reduce the risk of damage to their branches. Additionally, the absence of leaves allows snow to slide off more easily, preventing the accumulation of snow that could break branches. How might this apply to me? Well, being mindful of what enables me to continue to stand tall in spite of the conditions I face, and preventing the damaging forces like negative energy from breaking me is essential for my well-being. And maybe another thing to consider is nutrient recycling. You see, trees reabsorb some of the nutrients from their leaves before shedding them. That's why we get all those spectacular golden, amber and russet hues. This nutrient recycling is important for the tree's future growth, as it allows the tree to retain essential nutrients that would otherwise just be lost when the leaves fall to the ground. So what can I reabsorb that will sustain me through the long, cold winter? I think it's a wonderful time to reflect on achievements, lessons learned and feedback. I used to be shocking at accepting motivational feedback when people would share how I had impacted their lives for the better. I would dismiss it as, oh, nothing, when the individual clearly felt it was most certainly something. Then my coach asked me an important question. She said, what impact might me rejecting such feedback have on the giver? That stopped me in my tracks because I'd never truly considered that. I know it's an old saying that I've mentioned before, but feedback, whether motivational or developmental, really is a gift. And if gifts are not appreciated, they stop being given. What I thought was just my humility was in actual fact a snub. Think about that. What someone thought was worthy of remark, I was brushing aside and telling them it was nothing. Lesson learned. Such feedback, lessons and my achievements are now gratefully stored and appreciated as they provide sustenance for the work ahead of me. There is something else we can learn from nature: hibernation. I have long said that I consider myself a creature capable of hibernation. And for those of us working traditional jobs, November, when the clocks have changed, can feel like a sort of hibernation because we only really get out into the daylight at the weekends. And as a sad sufferer, that's just not enough daylight for me. Interestingly, I just recently became aware of the term opportunistic hibernator, and that term most definitely applies to me. You see, I love the cold, bright days of winter, but despise the grey, dreary, miserly days that we often experience here in the UK. If you've not heard that term miserly before, it describes conditions that are a mix between mist and drizzle, where it seems to never really get light. So, just like some animals who enter a hibernation-like state when environmental conditions become unfavourable, that's when I too hunker down, cosy up and retreat from the outside world. Just like other hibernators, my heart rate and therefore my stress levels decrease. I engage in limited activity, stirring only to refresh my brew or my plate. And my home, specifically my comfy reclining chair, is most definitely my hibernation chamber. For this is where I am protected from both human and environmental elements. It's no wonder, therefore, that November is considered a time for reflection and strategic planning, for that happens when we quieten and still our busy minds. I'll be away myself during November on a business retreat doing just that. It's most certainly a time for copious pre-charging with all of the festivities approaching. There's Thanksgiving in the US, Diwali, the festival of lights during the darkest night of the new moon for the Hindu, Sikh, Jain and some Buddhist communities globally. I love that this festival of lights celebrates the triumph of light over darkness, good over evil. We need more of that right now. New beginnings and the human ability to overcome. I think we as introverts can take heart from this message. There are still too many introverts hiding behind or inside their introversion. Of course, the bias that we regularly face feeds this behaviour, but truthfully, we can be and do anything we want in life. So let's embrace that this transition into November represents a period of symbolic renewal and the fresh start it can really be, if we choose it to be so. Just as many aspects of the natural world demonstrate the principle of letting go, such as the changing seasons, the life cycle of plants and the ebb and flow of tides, we too can align with the rhythm of nature, because change is inevitable and an inherent part of life. Everything in the universe, from the seasons to the cells in our bodies, undergo continuous change. And letting go is a fundamental aspect of this change, allowing for growth and renewal. Letting go can actually bring a sense of freedom and liberation. It allows us to break free from limitations, self-imposed or otherwise, and pursue new paths with a clearer sense of purpose, renewed enthusiasm, and a lighter heart. Letting go helps individuals embrace the impermanence of life. By recognising that nothing lasts forever, people can cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present moment and the experiences it brings. So letting go can also be an essential part of the healing process. It can help individuals find closure after loss or trauma, so they can move forward with their lives. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting.
we never truly forget. But hanging on to what was but is no more just perpetuates the pain, our pain. Learning to let go, therefore, fosters resilience and adaptability. Life is full of unexpected challenges and transitions, and the ability to adapt to these changes is a valuable life and leadership skill. Holding on to things, relationships, or situations that no longer serve us can lead to suffering. Letting go enables individuals to release attachments and find freedom from unnecessary burdens. As you will have gathered, the concept of letting go is so important that I'll be talking specifically about the process of letting go in a later episode. For now, let's accept that November can be a time to shed old habits, just like the trees shed their leaves. It can be a time to set new intentions. Why wait until the new calendar year? And it can be a time to commit to our personal growth. So what have we covered in this episode? Letting go is a crucial element of the cycle of life because it enables personal growth, resilience, and adaptation to the ever-changing nature of existence. It promotes a deeper understanding of impermanence and encourages individuals to live in the present moment, free from unnecessary attachments and burdens. Letting go is an essential aspect of the natural order of life, fostering renewal and the opportunity for new beginnings. Next week, I'll be exploring how we might decide what to let go of, so do join me if you need support in your decision making.
If you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, then please subscribe, rate us and leave a comment, because we know that helps other people find the podcast. And if other people find us, other introverts can flourish.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.